The Buffalo Bus Blog is a participatory work situated along the NFTA bus route in Buffalo, New York. While various forms of public transportation have yielded success in their abilities to transport massive populations, their evolution has dually employed a fractured sense of communication between the passengers. Buses have become densely populated transitional spaces from which people engage with every day, yet passengers remain hesitant to converse. As one approaches the public transit vehicle, a large crowd is present. Rather than being welcomed with the traditional commotion of metropolitan life, the eerie silence washes over as if entering a state of seclusion within the crowd. In the case of the Katai, Ito has written that the use of cell phones has been deemed quite blatantly annoying while in public transportation vehicles. Countermeasures have been developed as a means to prevent the reoccurrence of oral communication between passengers on mobile phones through the deployment of text-based media. The deployment of short message services has been widely accepted by many of the avid supporters of mobile communication technologies. While using public transportation, passengers whom have criticized the use of mobile telephones accept texting as a viable form of public communication due to its lack of impedance on their own transit experience. Although texting has achieved great success among its users, the efficacy of communication has been equally subjected to large amounts of criticism. The limited character format has generated a radical dialect composed of anagrams, abbreviations, and symbolic relationships. Because this dialect directly conflicts with the traditional linguistic structures, many stipulations have been made as to the efficacy of communication being provided. In addition to the linguistic structuring of the message itself, the formal attributes of texting has equally compelled critics due to the mediation of its members through a screen-based, limited character media. The Buffalo Bus Blog seeks to capitalize on the mediation provided through texting as a means for generating social discourse between the passengers of public transportation. In the example of the Katai, texting has maintained acceptance among passengers as a viable form of communication. Therefore, short message services may provide ample means from which to converse. While traditional SMS structures transmit messages according to a time-based system, the Buffalo Bus Blog uses a centralized database to distribute messages according to a locative structure. Although several options currently exist for a locative format such as this, several factors have been evaluated in the selection of an appropriate technology. While existing services such as Twitter already provide a mobile locative platform, SMS was chosen for reasons concerning economic, ergonomic, and specificity of location implications. Passengers of public transportation networks tend to be composed of citizens with lower economic status. While studies have suggested that Americans living in or near poverty are more likely to own a cell phone, this does not imply that their mobile telephone maintains the ability to access the internet, maintaining texting as a more appropriate technology due to its accessibility. In addition to this, texting remains an open platform from which anyone with a mobile telephone may engage, while Twitter remains secluded to the registered members of its organization. While gaining access to a Twitter account may be quite simple, reducing the Buffalo Bus Blog to texting eliminates the restrictions of requiring an established account for an existing network. This maintains a more porous system which may be accessed through a much broader audience, requiring only the simple requirements of a mobile telephone rather than the existence of a pre-registered account with an independent company. Aside from these primary elements, the locative structuring of mobile Twitter remains open to a global population. While the Buffalo Bus Blog would benefit from the simplicity of implementing an existing structure such as this, the primary focus of the project is to provide a platform from which to mediate conversation situated within the public transportation network itself. With this, a refined short message service which references the time and content of the message with an online NFTA map and schedule may limit postings and conversations made to the passengers of the public transportation system itself. Participation within the Buffalo Bus Blog may occur on three primary levels: the author, the audience, and the online spectator. Bloggers may first be engaged through advertisements which target public transit passengers. Posters placed along the ad space found above the passengers' heads may contain information about the Buffalo Bus Blog, as well as instructions on how to participate. The posting of a message may deduce the location and identity of a blogger through the reduction of a few primary elements contained within the message. The number from which the message is sent may be used to ID the author for future anonymous reference. The blogger may choose to later establish a username or tag from which to be associated with. However, unattended accounts would remain anonymous. Location may be inferred through an initial hashtag within the message, as well as the time from which the message was received by the database. This information may be used in reference with an online NFTA map in order to infer a location for the blog post. The text following the initial hashtag would be used by the blogger to transmit their message. All postings are made individually. However, the blogger is not restricted to a single passage. What begins as an independent message may be developed into a narrative composed through a string of messages, or may simply remain an independent series of postings.